Learning about books, learning letter names. If your kids right now do not know letter names, you need to go home and push letter names. We need to get letter names. We can't do phonics lessons till we know letter names. Why? Because we need to know what the name of the letter is that we're learning. Why? Because we have to spell. Because spelling comes after, once you know the sounds, now you can use them to spell. But if you don't know what the letter is, and you don't know when I say it's the A, you're like, what's A look like? Then you can't spell. Those are acorns dropping. I know. It sounds like there's little mice up on the, but it's acorns. Don't park under the trees on the parking lot. Alphabetic level. This is where we live in kindergarten, right here. We live in the alphabetic level in kindergarten. The alphabetic level is consonant sounds, short vowel sounds, blending CVC, consonant, vowel, consonant, segmenting, consonant, vowel, consonant, reading and spelling, consonant, vowel, consonant, and reading and spelling sight words. This is where we live in kindergarten. When we do our writing, hey guys, come on in. When we do our writing workshop, when your kids start to write, if they know that read is spelled R-E-A-D, great, let them spell it that way. If they spell read R-E-D, tell them they're way advanced and amazing. Because what have they learned in kindergarten? They haven't learned complex vowel patterns. So when they say E, when they hear E, what do they think? The letter E. When are they going to learn it's EA? When they get to spelling pattern level complex vowel patterns in first grade. Don't stress out. You all learned it, they will learn it too. But right now, we know, and we want to tell them, but at school we're telling them, sound it out, and they're saying E, D, and they're putting an R and an E and a D. And we're saying, that's awesome, good for you. You used the skills you've learned in kindergarten. And then they go home, and then it's like, no, then they've lost all hope. Like, well, how am I ever gonna know? If I'm using what I know. So we're gonna talk more about that in writing, but think about where we live. We live here in kindergarten at the alphabetic level. The spelling pattern level is sometimes end of kinder for some kids. Some kids are already there at the beginning of kinder. But generally, it's the beginning of first and into second grade, depending on the kids. So first graders right now, many of them are working on spelling pattern. And these are all those other sounds past the 26 we talked about, the basic letters and their sounds. So here's where they're learning what we call the final lead generalization. We do touch on this in kindergarten if we get far enough. They're learning what we call long vowel digraphs, where letters pair together to make the long vowel sound. They learn R-controlled, A-R, I-R, E-R, U-R, that sound. Other vowel digraphs are other pairs that make sounds oi, oo, ow. They're learning about inflected endings, and then they're reading and spelling. Now we're going to look at irregular high-frequency words. This will make more sense when we talk. The kinds of words that they cannot read are shifted because now they know more patterns. Okay? And then you get to polysyllabic morphemic level. That is the end of second grade and above. That is where you start to learn about syllabication, sight syllables, open and closed syllables. One vowel at the end is long, one vowel not at the end is short. You start to learn about what we call the LE syllables, gul, bul, tol, dul. So this is, we're not here. Now some kids are ready to go here, okay? But this is where most of our friends are. This is where we live in our kindergarten world, okay? So, questions on that? Is this helpful to see where the reading is going to be? Okay, if it's not, sorry, you're already here. Too bad. Oh, we didn't write an evaluation, so, oh well. Oh, I'm just kidding you. We'll listen to you if you have something you want to say. So, if you think to the framework, remember back here in our framework, we talked about, so I just talked to you about the phonics that we're studying, okay? The consonant, vowel, consonant, okay? Now I want to look at sight words. So sight words are called high frequency words, they're called sight words. They are actually, depends on what the word is. So sight words, irregular words, decodable words, what? So this is really important and it's critical to our understanding. So a sight word is a high utility word that students have not learned a spelling pattern for yet. Meaning, there is a spelling pattern in English for this sound. They haven't learned it yet. Okay. C. S-E-E. That's a sight word that we're learning this week. E-E is a legitimate spelling of E. Yes, in English? Okay, we don't learn it in kindergarten. We learn it in first grade. But C, you can write all kinds of stuff with the word C. I see the dog. I see the cat. I see the, right? So we teach it as a high utility sight word that they need to memorize. And when they learn the pattern, E-E, it's no longer considered a sight word because they know the pattern. Can. You're going to see can come home. Can is a sight word because, again, I can see the dog. Can you see the dog? We can see the dog. See how many things you can write with can? But we're not going to learn C for 14 more lessons. So if we teach can as a sight word, we can have a lot of text that you can read. And as soon as we get the sound of C and now we can sound it out, we take it out. It's no longer a sight word. Is that making sense? Okay? So when you see some of the words, they're words that you can sound out using the English phonics, but they're not patterns we have learned yet. That's a sight word. You memorize these words. At some point, they will be, no, 6:45, right? Oh yeah, I did. Oh my God. She's giving me a time check. Okay, so sight words, they will become decodable at some point. An irregular word is a word that will never be able to be sounded out using English phonics. Said. AI says A. It's not say. It's said. 100% irregular. You'll never be able to sound it out. Don't ever tell your kid to sound out said. Because they will say said, or they will say sat it. Okay? So, and then you'll say, why? What is that wrong with that teacher? Why isn't she teaching them anything? Decodable words are words that students can blend because they have learned the spelling pattern. Cat. Right now, we're going to learn M and A and N. They can blend man. Okay? They can blend am. They can blend and. So that's the difference. A sight word is a word that can never be sounded, that will eventually become decodable, but we don't have the patterns for. An irregular word is truly 100% irregular, and a decodable word is a word that we will be able to eventually sound out. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. All right. So these are the sound spelling cards that we use in the benchmark program. Now, they are not the greatest cards. Some of them you're going to say, why is it a wallaby card? Because every kid calls it a what?
Kangaroo.
A kangaroo. And I'm like, it's a wallaby card. And they're like, no, that's a kangaroo. And I'm not going to give them a lesson on the difference between a kangaroo and a wallaby. The reason it's like that is cards that are, some of the cards that are outlined, they did Spanish cognates. A lot of the Spanish-speaking teachers that I have taught to have said they're not even good Spanish cards. So, but they are what they are, so we got what we got, we're going to use what we got. So, it's hard to read, but A is a, it's a blank, it's a closed syllable, the card is apple. B is the bicycle card. C, we have the canoe card. It could be spelled with a C, a K, or a CK after a short vowel. Your kids will learn this in kindergarten, okay? So these are the legit spellings that we learn in kindergarten. All right, there should be DGE on there under J, but I forgot to add it. We have modified these cards from what you might see in other kids' classrooms. In kindergarten, we modified them because they had some spellings on there that were things I thought were questionable, and so I just changed them. So, nobody told me I couldn't, so I did. So, you just do it and you explain it later. So, these are the cards. So, turn your page, and you have a word, and the first word is and. So, I want everybody to look at the word and then I want you to think of the sounds in and. So, let's all think of the first sound is ah. It's spelled with an A. Is that legit? Okay, go to the next sound. Is that legit spelling for N? Yes. D. Is that a D? So would you call this a decodable word or an irregular word?
Decodable.
It's a decodable word. So you can write decodable. It is a sight word because it will become decodable. Yeah. It will become decodable. I did say that correctly. Okay. O. So think about O. It's a closed syllable. O should say ah. F should say. Does of say off? What is it going to be? Irregular. Can't be a sight word because once we know those sounds, it still doesn't work out, does it? It's irregular. Okay. They. Let's think. Does TH say the voice sound? Yes, it does. EY. Does EY say A? Can you spell the long A sound with an EY? Okay, on the word they, yes, but how many other words? So what is it called?
Irregular.
Irregular. All right? Don't fall victim to the famous neighbor, EIGH, is in way and neighbor. It's not a spelling for A. Don't teach it to kids that way. Just teach it as irregular. All right, so now look, I already told you about can. It's going to be a sight word because it becomes decodable. Try home. Decide what you think it is. Is it going to be an irregular word or a decodable word? I heard decodable. Anybody want to try for irregular? She gave a hint. What is it? It's decodable. Right now, in kindergarten, it's a sight word because we haven't learned O blank E. But it will become decodable. But it is a decodable word. Okay, all right. Let's go to come. Ooh. This was one last year that had people like really upset. I don't know why, but come. Irregular or decodable? Why is it irregular? It defies the final E, O blank E. It doesn't say O. It's not comb. It's come. It's a sight word, but it's a sight word irregular word. Like it will never become decodable, right? It's an irregular word. So don't, when your kids bring the word come and it's in their reader and you say sound it out, they're going to say comb, and then don't blame us because we taught them. You just told them the wrong thing to do, right? You should have just told them the word. So you didn't know that yet, though, but I'm telling you tonight, so now you know. So sight words, we just tell them. Irregular words, we just tell them because they can't sound it out yet, okay? Questions on this? There's other ones for your party. The party, if anybody's having a party, there's some more on there. All right, how do we teach and practice sight words? We teach and practice sight words with a routine called read, spell, read. Very self-explanatory, okay? So here is my word. My word is on the flashcard like this. I didn't bring any. And I'm going to teach the kids, see. I see the dog running at the park. See. Read. Okay, you're the kids now, so I didn't say that. You're the kids. Read.
C.
Spell.
S-E-E.
Read.
C.
It's so hard. Point to the sounds, point to the letters as they read. okay? Why do we have an arrow directionality? We're teaching the kids who don't realize we read left to right. Why? Because we have this thing called item constancy. Your brain is not hardwired to make things, your brain is hardwired to say that no matter what direction you turn this, it is still a
Pencil.
pen. Then we get into school and we say, but it matters that we read from left to right. Have your kids written their name backwards?
Yes.
Oh, anybody have their kid writing their name backwards? Anybody got kids writing letters backwards? Okay, you don't need a tutor. It's going to be okay. They're fine. It's called item constancy. Because to them, what did they write? Their name the right way. It doesn't matter if it's left to right. It doesn't matter if it's upwards, backwards, sideways. I don't care, because your whole world tells you, no matter what it looks like, it's still a pen, a water bottle, a chair, a car, right? But then we get to school, we say letters and numbers matter. So read, spell. If they don't know it, what do? Don't tell them to sound it out. What are you going to do? The word is see. Read. Spell. Read. They don't know it, tell them. If you tell them to sound it out, they're going to say C-E-E, because there's two E's, right? So the flashcards we send home, don't sound them out. If they don't know it, tell them. Why? Because they have to memorize it. And then make them read, spell, read. And if you want to be really cruel, tell them we told you to make them read, spell, read, spell, read. That's what we do in school when they screw. We make them read, spell, read, spell, read. And they say, we already did that one. We say, it doesn't matter. Okay, blending instruction and practice. Students who are taught to use continuous blending, holding sounds without stopping. This allows students to hear the connections between the sounds and then read the whole word. So, what does that mean? Continuous blending. Instead of at, the word is on the board. Instead of having kids say at, that's not continuous blending. 9 times out of 10, you'll say, what's the word? They'll say at, because they're hearing the very final thing they said. Continuous blending is where they hold all the sounds. And this is not easy. And this is what we teach them at school. So try when you're working with them to blend words at home. In the stories that we send home, try to work with them on continuous blending. Because then they're holding everything together. Continuous blending is mat. So I didn't stop. Mat. What's the word? Mat. When I hold that, then I can hear all the sounds together. So try continuous blending. It's another fun party game. When you have a stop sound at the beginning of a word, a stop sound is a sound you can't hold. So think of a sound that you can't hold. Think of a letter that has a sound that you can't hold at the beginning.